or the consequences would have been unimaginable. What could have made this cop so furious? It turns out Jack just stepped out of prison when a block of tofu hit him on the head. Then a cop walked over and slapped him across the face twice. Before stuffing cigarette butts into his bag, Jack chose to stay silent. He went to a diner and ate his noodles alone, but Officer Mike followed right behind him. Seeing Jack eating without any pleasure, he grabbed a bottle of chili powder and dumped it all into the bowl. Then picked up a liquor bottle and smashed it right on his head. He was about to swing a stool at him. Luckily, the staff intervened, or the consequences would have been unimaginable. What could have made this cop so furious? It turns out Jack was an extremely brutal serial killer. 15 years ago on one fateful night, Mike's brother, who was also a cop, had just gotten out of his car to go home when Jack deliberately bumped into him. He walked a few steps before realizing his carotid artery had been slashed. By then, Jack had already escaped in a taxi. The man used every ounce of strength to crawl back home and saw his daughter one last time before dying. Mike had no idea what happened. He came over to celebrate his brother's birthday, but that birthday became a death day. In the courtroom, 16 victims' families accused the serial killer and demanded the judge sentence him to death. But due to insufficient evidence for some victims, he only got 15 years. The victims' families broke down crying in court. Officer Mike lost control of his emotions and beat the killer right there. Yet Jack just stared coldly in one direction, because there was someone who provided the evidence that led to his 15 years in prison. Turns out they were childhood friends. They always enjoyed hunting small animals together, but eventually became enemies over a woman. 15 years later, Jack was just released from prison. He wanted to take down that killer, the one who stole his fiancée, and reported him to the police. Seeing Jack appear like a ghost, his pupils contracted in sheer terror. Jack grabbed a knife, but he didn't make a move. Instead, he threatened him. Tonight would be the last night he'd ever sleep peacefully. This made the killer want to strike first. He had to act before Jack did to save his own life. The killer tried to open the door on Jack to get the jump on him, but Jack beat him to it. Yet the killer didn't make a sound. He just leaned his body slightly forward. The killer realized Jack wanted him dead, so he tactically retreated, while Jack inside the room stayed remarkably calm, eyes locked on the door. Both sides were extremely cautious, but just then, there was a knock at the door. The imminent showdown came to an abrupt halt.